Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I want to share something I picked up from Bob Goff's latest book, Catching Whimsy, 365 Days of Possibility. Yeah, some really good stuff in here, in my humble estimation. Bob says, don't exaggerate so much that you no longer recognize the truly amazing things in life. Psalm 68:35 says, you, God, are awesome in your sanctuary. The God of Israel gives power and strength to his people. Praise be to God. Bob brings up the question, how many times have you heard somebody get a smoothie, it only costs like $9 or whatever, but they'll say, this is so amazing, right? Or you see or you hear a song, and again, it's just like, that's amazing or awesome. It's kind of what he calls word inflation. It's not saying that the things aren't good, but those things should be reserved for things that are really at the top of the line. So is really a trip to the market really awesome? Is it awe-inspiring? Now, I'll be honest, going to a national park, I have my 8 Cadillacs, my 8 favorite parks, and one qualification is a sense of awe. Now, there's a lot of times in nature there's a sense of awe, but my favorite national parks, man, they awe me. And I'm awed not just by creation, but by the Creator. So, Heidi has given me a mug at home that says, I'm silently correcting your grammar. Every once in a while, I don't do it silently, but I work very hard at pronouncing things right, and I still make mistakes. And the reason for that is I don't want people to discredit the message, which I am an honored messenger of, because I say some things wrong. Now, my mother, she corrected my grammar as well. She did not do it silently. But her concern was for me for that very reason. She knew that I did public speaking. But I think it's important to consider the words that we say, because God is awesome, and that's what it says here. But if we're saying potato chips are awesome, well, we're saying God's like potato chips. And then there's the whole question of objective versus subjective. If you want to say, and I try hard to say this is my favorite pizza. Still, people will argue with me and tell me it's not. It's like, you can't argue with it. It's subjective. It is my favorite. And they'll say they like something else better. Well, that's fine. You can like that better. What is inaccurate, I believe, is to say, this is the best pizza. Because I'm not sure what criteria you're using, and that's an objective statement, not a subjective one. And I think that that's important. So Heidi and I were out in the Casita last week, and we read this devotional together, and we had an interesting chat about it. And I think we both realized that in different ways we're guilty of hyperbolizing. We're saying something like, I've never seen anything like that, it's unbelievable, it's amazing, it's really awesome, it was the best. We're guilty of those things at times. And she pointed that out with sports. I tried to let her know the narrative behind something so that she might be more interested in it. So far, it really hasn't worked whatsoever. She's just not really into sports. But like, this is such an upset that this team wins, and I try to explain and why. But for the most part, like I say, it hasn't really altered her a whole lot. Well, then it got time to pray. And so often she prays first, and then I prayed. And I prayed something like this: Lord, I thank you for my moderately above average wife. At which point she just burst out laughing. Now, she did not take offense. Okay, Heidi doesn't always watch Words of Hope, so don't tell her about this, okay? This will just be our little secret. No, we had a lot of fun with that. But I think that there's a lot of truth to this, that we should save superlatives for things that truly are amazing, like the grace of God, and awesome, like God himself. And so I'll wrap it up with the words of Bob Goff. Be picky about the words and phrases you use, and you will uncover new and more valuable meaning in what you communicate to others today. It's also, Jesus said, let your yes be yes and your no be no, because it's kind of like when you were a kid, I swear on a stack of Bibles. Well, as soon as somebody said that, you probably figured their fingers were crossed anyway, and we all know what that means. May we be people of our word, and may we use words the best that we possibly can. God bless you. Have a great week.